Dear friends, here I'm going to talk about the common strategies used to control the greenhouse gases. But before going into the technical aspects of controlling the greenhouse gases, let me tell you that greenhouse gases are the gases present in the atmosphere that absorb and emit the energy within the thermal infrared range, meaning they're responsible for regulating the temperature on the surface of Earth. They're responsible for regulating temperature of the Earth's atmosphere. These gases are fundamental to the occurrence of greenhouse effect, not only on the surface of Earth, but in the atmosphere of other planets of the solar system as well. Because studies have indicated that in the solar system, the atmosphere of Venus and Mars does contain the greenhouse gases and thus cause greenhouse effect over there. It's now evident that without greenhouse gases, the average temperature of Earth's surface would have been at minus 18 degrees centigrade rather than the present average of plus 15 degrees centigrade, indicating that it's the greenhouse gases that make the Earth's surface a quite hospitable place for the survival of living organisms, including the human beings. It's not only that it's responsible for a devastation in terms of the global climate change, but it's a blessing as well if it occurs in some optimum levels, because we survive, other living organisms survive, plants survive, and thus make the survival of the planet possible. So it's the greenhouse gases. Primarily, there are a number of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and the common examples are water vapors, methane, ozone, carbon dioxide, and nitrous oxide. And there are a number of ways to control the greenhouse gases, but before actually knowing the ways to control the greenhouse gases, we must keep one thing in mind, that the burning of fossil fuels that's going on at a rampant pace in the contemporary world is responsible for increasing the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is a major contributor to the greenhouse effect as well as the global warming. So reducing the demand of fossil fuels by using the energy efficient models, by using energy more wisely and judiciously, by using green fuels is the key to the control of the greenhouse gases. So if we are serious in controlling the global warming, if we are serious in controlling the climate change, our focus should be controlling the carbon dioxide, because carbon dioxide is one of the potent global warming gases. That's why we are focusing. Although many other gases are there responsible for the global warming and climate change, but carbon dioxide is a primary gas responsible for this effect. And one common way is to reduce, reuse, and recycle. What to reduce, what to reuse, and what to recycle. In common day-to-day life, we can easily analyze that what is to be reduced, what is to be reused, and what is to be recycled. For example, if we buy materials, we get the bought materials in packagings, and we must be conscious enough to know that how much energy is being pumped into the preparation of those packagings, which go as a waste material out of our homes. And there's a huge energy, there's a huge quantity of energy, there's a huge emissions that are being emitted in the atmosphere while preparing those packages. So we should be buying those products which are having minimal packages to reduce the waste, to reduce the energy demands, and to reduce the level of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases being emitted in the atmosphere. As for example, by recycling half your household wastes, we can save 2,400 pounds of carbon dioxide from getting emitted into the atmosphere. This is what reducing, reusing, and recycling can do vis-a-vis the controlling of global warming gases or greenhouse gases. Another way out is to use less heat and air conditioning. We can install insulations to walls. We can install weather strippings around the doors and windows to lower down the costs of home heating and home cooling. We can turn down the heats and lights while sleeping. We can keep temperatures set on moderate all the time. And the way out is the replacement of the lighting bulbs. Gone is the time when we're using the red lamps, using excess amount of energy for lighting our homes. But there's the time of LEDs. We can replace all lighting bulbs with LEDs, and thus can conserve a huge amount of energy, and thus can stop the emissions into the atmosphere. And the way out, common way out, is to drive less and drive smart, because driving less means fewer emissions, means conservation of energy, means conservation of the fossil fuels, means saving of gasoline. It's not only saving gasoline, but it's actually cutting down the emission of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. Besides that, we can adopt the modes and mechanisms of walking and biking, because walking and biking can make us physically well, they can make us physically strong. So it's having a double-sided effect, one reducing the emissions, one reducing the costs, and another improving our health. We can use the transit systems and check out options for carpooling to work, to school, and to office. Another way, because if we are serious in reducing the greenhouse gases, we must keep in mind that cycling and walking can actually cut down the emission of greenhouse gases in the form of carbon dioxide and other gases that actually comes out from our vehicles. And the way out is to buy energy efficient products. Home appliances now come in a range of energy efficient models, and an example is LED. It's not only LED that is an energy efficient model, but in all other things, but in all other gadgets being used in the home. We have a range of energy efficient models of the home appliances, so we can use them. This can cut down the emissions, this can cut down the energy demands. Another use out is less hot water. It's not actually using less hot water, but it's actually reducing the demand of energy being used to create the water. It's actually lessening the emission rates to produce the hot water. So we can use the low shower heads. We can wash our clothes in warm and cold waters to reduce the use of hot water and energy required to produce it. Common practice we can do. All of us can do. Needs not a science, needs not a technicality, needs not a degree. We can plant a tree because we know that trees can absorb carbon dioxide and give off oxygen. A single tree, as an example, absorbs approximately 1 ton of carbon dioxide during its lifetime. See, if you're conscious enough to plant trees, what wonders we can do in terms of reducing the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Another way, conserve and encourage others to conserve. But this is not going to bear any fruits unless we adopt it ourselves. So we should first encourage ourselves to be conservative, to encourage ourselves to conserve, to protect the environment, to be very conscious, to change our mindset, to channelize our vision, to channelize our energy in the way of energy conservation, in the way of environmental conservation, in a way of less emissions, in a way of less wasteful consumption pattern. Once we are done in this ourselves, we can share the information about recycling, energy conservation, nature conservation, reduced emissions, less wasteful consumption with our friends, with our neighbors, with our co-workers, with our friends, and take opportunities to encourage public officials to establish programs and policies that are good for environment. To be very honest, these measures should be taken into consideration so that there will be less emission of greenhouse gases. Because once there is less emission of greenhouse gases, the planet will be a heaven for our survival. The planet will sustain us for a longer time. So if we are interested in sustaining our planet for a longer time, we should adopt all ways and means to cut down the emissions. Thank you very much.